Wizard, what the hell is this thing?
I don't know, but I bought it. It's ours now. Let's get started. No, it's not an MG. No, it's not a Triumph. No, it's not an Austin Healey. It's a 1976 Fiat Spider 124. And I actually didn't buy this thing just out of the blue and didn't know what I was doing. There's actually a reason behind it. Danielson has expressed interest in learning to EFI convert engines and also tune them or turbo them. I told him, hey, I'll get the car, you can practice on it and have fun with it, and whenever you're done, then we can sell it and I recoup my money. This thing just arrived over the weekend, and it's a lot worse shape than I thought. Let's take a look around this thing. Here is the front of this cute little Fiat 124. It has a smiley face, Mrs. Wizard.
Well, it's smiling, but not quite as much as some other cars we've seen of this size.
Yeah, the little Austin Healey Sprite we had was very smiley. You can see the emblem's completely worn off, but it would have said Fiat across there.
Well, but the paint is so pretty, and it's got kitty tracks all over it. That's a new design.
The cat has definitely walked all over it. It's got like a green tinge to it. I don't know if that's mold or what that is. As we go down the side, it does have some rust on the rocker molding down below. Some rust holes, actually. The tires are halfway decent. It does have a luggage rack in the back. It was purchased at Don Schmidt in Wichita back in who knows when. There's some paperwork in the trunk we'll look at in a minute, and we'll see the story on this thing. It does say 1800 on there.
Wizard, is that a custom trunk release?
Oh, this cable here, wire. I think so. Yeah, there it is. I guess the key been lost for who knows how long. You can see the little hubcap says Fiat. By the way, this thing has no brakes, so that'll be something that needs to be fixed. Here's looks like a folder of all the details about the car, a bunch of parts, a shop manual.
Oh, the windshield wipers.
And some wipers. Let's get this folder out and take a look at it real quick. There's a lot of service records, and it looks like the original purchase invoice for this vehicle, so let's take a look. Some kind of magazine, International Auto Parts. Another magazine. Looks like they had some brake calipers put on. When was this? In 05. What's this yellow thing here? Here's the original purchase invoice from March 9th of 1977. Don Schmidt Motor in Wichita. Looks like it was purchased by the Longs as well. And they paid $5,865.85 for this car. Pretty cheap, we think today, but that was expensive back then. Then there's tons and tons of service records and things like that. There's the actual owner's manual, some more owner's manual stuff. Wow, that's pretty interesting, all the service histories here. It's so sad that it's in such bad shape. There's a couple little dents here, and it looks like someone punched this plastic. This is not the original top that came on this car. I don't know if it would have had a soft top, or it says Dyna Plastics in California. Interesting. And down this side, there's not as much rust on this side, but it does have some dents. I don't know if we should go in the interior, Mrs. Wizard. I think we should just take the top off.
It's probably safer.
Yeah, let's do that. Well, we got the top off. We can see it does have, looks like a convertible top down in there, Mrs. Wizard.
It might be okay underneath there. Who knows? Or not.
Yuck.
This might be the permanent hoopty.
It is definitely a hoopty. The seats are completely destroyed. I did try to sit them and then just collapse and foam disintegrates in your hands, basically. Interior is pretty roached out. It's pretty bad. All the wood is all curled and cracked, and the dash is cracked. This interior is pretty roached out, but really we didn't buy it for that. Actually, let me go grab Daniel. We'll talk about what the plans are for this thing. Real quick, guys, this video is sponsored by Mrs. Wizard's Part Works. She's got a whole slew of new part works made. They're actually live now. The auctions are. It ends on the 18th. All the information you want to know about that is in the description below. There's a link down there. Definitely want to check out the part works she has now. They're really good, guys. Now, back to this car. So this thing has got some rust. The interior is basically destroyed. The wipers are gone. But we didn't even buy it for that. So let's open the hood and take a look at the business end of this car. There we go. That is the Fiat twin cam engine. This thing's a racing engine, man.
Yeah, supposedly it has some Ferrari inspiration there, if I can even say that without getting sued.
Yeah, it actually, I think one of the engineers designed this engine. They used it in tons of races and things, and it could be made to have a lot of power, actually. It doesn't look like it right now, though, huh?
No.
Actually, it actually starts up. Let me start it for you real quick.
Oh my goodness, Wizard. What's all that smoke back there?
Oh, that's just Junior, man. He's back there hotboxing it. Oh, that's a lot of smoke.
I know.
It's too much gas. I think it's like dumping too much fuel. Something's wrong with the carburetor.
Well, it's been sitting for a while, so I would expect that carburetor to not be in great condition.
But it actually started and it ran, and look, the seats are falling apart all over my hand. Ugh. But yeah, it actually sounded like it ran okay, though.
Yeah, why did you buy this again?
For you! So one thing I would like to do on this thing is a small turbo and fuel injection.
I can do that.
You can do it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I definitely got plans for it. We can definitely do a turbo setup and maybe bring this car into the 21st century with some modern EFI and a modern aftermarket ECU.
So this has actually twin cams. It has one right here, exhaust cam, and there's an intake cam. It looks like it's a little V6 or something, huh?
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Older Ferraris had this design too, you know. They kind of look like it's a V engine, but it's not. It's two cams and they're kind of divided and separated. But yeah, it's a unique design.
It should have a plastic cover here over the timing belt, but...
Yeah, it looks like it's missing.
Yeah, it was plastic. It probably degraded over time. So over here on the intake, underneath this air filter, there's probably, what, some intake options for EFI or something?
Yeah, supposedly later models came with injectors. Pretty crude system, but yeah, it's a direct bolt-on, so we should be able to get a modern intake and put it on there.
Okay, and then exhausts, we'll probably just take it off and have it sent off, weld on a flange or something?
Yeah, that's probably the fastest way to go. Just weld a flange on the exhaust and to be able to mount a turbo on it.
Put a little turbo here and some sort of, what, an intercooler or something? Or
yeah, we definitely probably want to put an intercooler in there. Maybe a heat exchanger, using coolant to cool it down, or maybe one in the front. But we'll see how it goes.
So it'll be fun just to see how much power we can get out of and just practice and play around with it. And if we hurt it or do something, obviously it's not a big loss.
Yeah, not really.
This thing should be LS swapped, man.
You can't fit an engine in here like that. You can't.
I don't know.
It's too big.
Maybe a V6 or something. But anyways, at least it starts and runs. We know that much. We don't have to do a whole lot with it that way. We just get some parts together to modify it. So this is not a Car Wizard project. This is something that Daniel's going to play around with, something he can have fun with. He's actually going to be doing it on his channel. You can go in the link below. There's a link to his channel, Danielson, and you can follow along what he finds out, good or bad, and how it goes. And then once he's all done, we'll finish it up a video here, and then, I don't know.
Yeah, well.
It'll be interesting to see what you can do with this cute little engine. It actually is kind of cute. It's a little tiny little...
It's extremely small. I think I measured it this morning. It's like 18 inches.
That's
long.
It?
Yeah, it's about 18, 19 inches long.
Just a little guy.
Yeah.
See if we can get 150 or 200 horsepower out of it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Interesting. All right, well, I'll let you get back to taking a break and show these guys around. We'll look underneath the car, but that's basically the idea with this thing and what we're going to do with it.
Yeah, check it out, guys.
So this is just a project for Danielson to play around with. We would never take on something like this for a customer. We don't do restorations. If you got a car in the barn, you want to get it going, we're not that type of shop. Let's go ahead and look this thing over. It's a tiny little engine, Mrs. Wizard.
Yeah, it has one really huge oil filter for such a tiny little engine.
It definitely does. The little motor mounts, little donuts there. They're not torn, but they're kind of bloated. Take a look at these brakes here, which, by the way, it has no brakes. I bought it that way. I don't know why or what's going on with that.
That is an interesting bushing.
They got a rag tied around the boot. Interesting. Here's our steering gearbox. It's kind of oily. Everything's kind of oily under here. It might be
kind of oily. I think this one is mummified.
Yeah, over there it definitely is. Take a look over here. Same story. It's got some decent looking shocks on it, luckily. The pads look halfway decent. A little bit loose there. It's probably this tie rod. Again, it has a rag tied around it. I don't understand that. It's weird. Here's our tiny little transmission. I think it's a 4-speed. It's the little tiny guy. It's not made for major power. There's our single exhaust. Looks like a lot of oil's been leaking here, Mrs. Wizard.
It is well rust-proofed.
It is well preserved, it's for sure. There's a little drive shaft, which actually seems to be okay, amazingly. It's got this little weird rubber donut that's about to... Oh my goodness, there's chunks missing out of, Miss Wizard.
That sounds safe.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to take that on the highway. It needs a new flex disc there. Oh my goodness. It does have an electric fuel pump conversion, so I guess that's nice. Here's our back brakes. Everything's kind of rusty and intact. I just know that it has no brakes. I don't know why yet. Everything's all crusty here. The shocks are blown. You can see the oil is caked on it. In the back, they're bad. So we've all been through those one-sided conversations or arguments with people. But have you ever seen a one-sided gas tank? It's over here on the driver's side. It does not go to the passenger side. It's only right here. It's like 12 gallons or something, Mrs. Wizard?
It's really tiny, but I wonder how that works with weight distribution. If the driver and there's the gas on one side, nobody's on the other.
I have no idea. Let's check out these tires. So these tires say made in China, and it's made by a company called Regal. It's not even spelled right. It's with a U, Regal. Here's the date code, 26th week of 2013. They're 11 years old. Here's the name of the company that made them, R-E-G-U-L. Regal? Regal? You guys can let us know in the comments how you're supposed to pronounce that. I have no idea. Very, very cheap tires, and they're pretty old. Let's get this thing on the ground. When we were looking at the original sales invoice, I did notice it said that the paint color was seafoam green. So this green is actually the original color. Maybe it was painted on top of this blue to give it that seafoam color, or I don't know. Obviously, we're not going to be restoring this thing, and no, we don't do that for other people either. We don't restore stuff like this. It's just for fun. Danielson wanted something that he could practice on and have a blast with it. And you guys can go to his channel and watch some of the things he's going to do, some of the ideas he has. So Danielson definitely has his work cut out for him. I wish him luck. That's why we got this thing. As soon as he's done with it and everything's completely finished, we'll probably just sell it and let it go. We will get the brakes fixed, probably fix up the interior a little bit. But again, it's just a project car just for fun. Make sure to check out Danielson's channel in the link below. They'll take you to all of his different projects he's done in the past, Ferraris and things, and this going forward. If you're curious what kind of tools that's going to be used to work on this or any other car in the shop, check our Amazon affiliates link in the description below. We get a small cut and really appreciate it. And make sure to hit the subscribe button here because we have so many more cool videos to come. Thanks for watching.